By 97% of the market fail. You have to create your own market demand, and everything I learned since then to give to you as a student of mine. Hey, what's going on, Freight Dispatchers? It's your favorite freight dispatch trainer, Antoine West, and I'm back at you with another video. And in this video, I want to tell you how I landed my first client as a freight dispatcher and started to make $20,000 per month by my second month in business. So I know I talk about making $20,000 per month as a freight dispatcher a lot. So I always want to have the proven method to be able to show my customers up front, so you can just follow that exact same proven method and you won't have to play the guessing game and ask questions and search the internet for answers. So you can just get the answers to how you can make $20,000 per month plus from one place. So I want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. I see I have a lot of new subscribers. So thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And I want to teach you my proven method to start a successful freight dispatching business. I want to tell you everything up front that makes most people fail, because believe it or not, 97% of people fail when coming into this industry. It's only the top 3% that's successful. But what happens is most people coming into this industry copy the market. They copy what they see, not knowing that 97% of the market, they don't have any drivers to dispatch. They aren't making any money. So what's happening in freight dispatching is so many people that had came into this industry that thought and still think they're going to make some quick money by just doing a small bit of marketing, and the owner operators are going to come to them, but that's not quite the way it works. 97% of people aren't having any success with their business, and then new people that come into freight dispatching copy the market, only getting the same results. Also, make sure you click below to take a look at my blog post after you watch this video that will talk more about why 97% of the market fail. But we're going to get straight into this video. 97% of the people fail in the market is because they were doing what I did my first month of dispatching. So the actions that I was taking my first month of dispatching led me to not being able to sign up any drivers like the other 97% of the market. Starting my freight dispatch business, I can't really say dispatching because I wasn't doing any dispatching without any trucks like the 97%. So the second month, I switched my game up and I became like the 3% of successful business owners. And that's how I made it. And I started to earn $20,000 per month. So from zero to $20,000 per month, and my life has never been the same. So the difference between those 2 months is the difference between landing my first driver and not having any drivers previously. So during my first month, I was working that full-time job. I always wanted to start a business. And then like a lot of you guys, I came up on freight dispatching, right? It seemed like the perfect idea. Dispatching trucks, I was excited about that, knowing that I could work from the comfort of my own home or from anywhere and just be able to use my cell phone and a load board and dispatch trucks. It sounded pretty cool to me. Kind of sounded like I have my own trucking business in a way, a virtual trucking business, and that I could like work for myself, scale my business, and hire other dispatchers to work for me. So that month I opened up my business. At first, I did reach out to someone for training, but they never got back with me. So I ended up just opening my business myself and trying to go into it without any training. But I did do a lot of research online, on social media, YouTube. At the time, there wasn't as many YouTube videos on the subject as now. I'll also attach a link down in the description of this video, because I started to make YouTube videos myself and I kind of blew up the industry by putting my knowledge out there. So that's how dispatching became more popular. So when I first started, it wasn't nearly as much information out there on the internet as it is today. But I did my fair amount of research. In my second week, I came to a point where I felt like I pretty much knew enough about being a freight dispatcher to start my business and start trying to acquire some customers, right? I felt like I was at that point. I was like, let me just get out here and try to start getting my first driver, start signing up some drivers and making some money. So what I did to start recruiting drivers, I did a couple of cold calls, but cold calls is a numbers game. So the more cold calls you make, or outbound calls, I prefer to call them outbound calls. The more outbound calls you make, the more increase your possibility of signing up a driver, right? So I was making some cold calls. Back then, that could have been 20, 40, or 50 a day. I don't know the number exactly. Well, went by that and I wasn't having any luck. I started to post on social media, made up a flyer or made up a post that was similar to a flyer, but I was saying I had a 24/7 dispatch business. I can find you the highest paying loads and I can do all your paperwork. So that's what I was saying, just like a lot of the market. And I kept that up for like a month, trying to make cold calls or outbound calls and posting on social media with no luck. So then I came to a point in my business and I said, well, since I've tried doing everything that I know to do, I learned a good amount about freight dispatching, but within myself, I knew what the problem was. I knew was lacking when it came to my marketing, sales, and recruiting skills, because I had only like work jobs, office jobs before, where I didn't have to do any marketing, sales, or recruit anybody into my business. So that's one pain point that most freight dispatchers fear, is having to sign up drivers, having to recruit drivers, having to talk to drivers, right? So I pretty much knew if I didn't get over that, my business wasn't going to go anywhere, right? So I felt like I needed to take a break from researching online about freight dispatching, just like a lot of you guys have did so much research on freight dispatching online, and you need to get to the point where you start doing more research and learning more when it comes to marketing and sales. So I took a week off and I started to learn about marketing and sales. And one of the first things that I learned is that in any market, 97% of the people are doing the same thing and they're getting the same results. That I needed to be closer to like the 1% or the 3%. And what the 1% or the 3% do, they have a UVP, a unique value proposition. So something that's unique about your brand that you offer or that you bring to the market, and then you need to market that UVP to as many people as possible. So what I started to do that night after hearing that, I started to write down things that I didn't see other freight dispatchers doing that I could think of and implement into my business. And basically those were my UVPs, my unique value propositions, right? Something that made my brand stick out, something that made me unique, right? So what I started to do, just like a lot of us, when we look at businesses, we see things that's missing. You want to focus on what's missing and offer that to your potential customer, and then that's going to draw in their interest. So before, I was blending in with the 97% of the market and not doing anything that attracted my customer to me, that drew in their interest. So I started to write down everything that I thought was a good idea to offer to truck drivers that I didn't see anyone else offering. So one thing that people weren't offering was to do the factoring paperwork. So I started to do the factoring paperwork. I started to reach out to insurance companies for truck drivers when they had a problem with their insurance company. So what I attempted to do was handle anything within their trucking business that I could handle from the comfort of my own home. Because I thought about it as like, I can do any of the administrative work for myself, right? For my potential truck drivers. Also, I started to offer oversized load permits, get the permits for my drivers and book oversized loads for them so they can make more money. I brought on a network with bookkeepers, so then I could start offering bookkeeping services myself. So you want to become like a one-stop shop. Any and everything that your potential customer may need, especially in the beginning, when you don't have any drivers, you need to be able to offer that to them. If you see that they need bookkeepers or CPAs, you need to network with a bookkeeper or a CPA. Even if you don't know one before, but search online and network with one and tell them what you do, that you're a freight dispatcher and you're going to be bringing on a lot of owner operators, and see if you can build a business relationship with the CPA or the bookkeeper and be able to give them maybe like a free bookkeeping strategy call. And that would go through your bookkeeper, but you can advertise that. That can be one of your offers. So I started to do everything that I could think of that my potential owner operator may need. A lot of owner operators have second trucks that maybe the driver quit and they don't have time to hire another driver, to look for one and hire one. So I started to hire drivers for my owner operator if they had a second or a third truck. And then that made me revenue too by being able to dispatch that second or third truck. Some owner operators were coming from being company drivers and they bought their truck and trailer, but they didn't have their authority yet. So I started to offer to create authorities for people to go on the FMCSA website and get authorities for truck drivers. So I would set up their entire authority. So now I have people coming in at all stages of the pipeline, people who are already ready to be dispatched, people who still need to get their authority. I started working with them too. And then I started to advertise those services. So what I realized is, like, on people's Facebook business pages, hardly no dispatchers had any videos, right? So the marketing training that I went taught me that my potential customer getting to know, like, and trust me will make them want to reach out to me. And the more people who know, like, and trust me, the more interest I'm getting and the more people that's reaching out to me, right? So it's called inbound marketing. You want your customers coming to you. If you always have to chase owner operators, you'll never get any. You want drivers coming to you. So that's why you see, if you do some market research in the industry, you'll see there are so many freight dispatchers. They're down in the conversion space. All they're ever saying is, hey, if you're an owner operator looking for a dispatcher, sign up with me or send me an inbox message. It's always just sign up with me, sign up with me, sign up with me. There's no unique value propositions, right? So that UVP is what's going to actually attract your driver, so you don't have to constantly beg drivers to sign up with you. So I started to make videos on my Facebook business page, and that built my value before my customer ever signed up with me. It increased what's called my perceived value. So you want your customers or your truck drivers to perceive value before they even sign up with your freight dispatching company. Built a Facebook business page, and from there, I started to also build in my page, and by posting in Facebook trucking groups, this drew a lot of interest around my brand. And then I was speaking about my unique value proposition. So at that point, I wasn't saying the exact same thing as the rest of the market. So what that does, it increases your brand messaging. Now your brand has something specifically to speak about, because your brand messaging is speaking about your unique value proposition. So if you have something that's unique about your business, you can speak about that, and now you actually have brand messaging. You're not like the other 97% of people in the market who are just saying, hey, are you looking for a dispatcher? I have the highest paying loads. You actually have something to say. Like I tell a lot of my students in my mentorship program, how I have leads to drivers. That's what makes my dispatching training program unique, leads to drivers. Because I know at the end of the day, for my potential customer, it's just all about getting leads to drivers. You want more leads coming across your brand every month. And the more leads you have coming across your brand, or seeing your brand, hearing your brand messaging, you're going to have more drivers signing up. And a dispatch business is basically a huge recruiting firm. You're a recruiting firm for truck drivers, because you have to constantly recruit truck drivers into your pipeline or into your business. So my program is called Leads to Drivers, because that's what you need. And then all my messaging is to help you get leads to drivers. So as I'm speaking about a unique value proposition, as I'm speaking about brand messaging, or as I'm speaking about building a Facebook business page, because I know the majority of your potential customers hang out on Facebook. More truck drivers are on Facebook than any other social media site. So everything I say, all my brand messaging to you, my potential customer, is to get you more customers. So I even teach my mentees this, is to have certain programs, right? Certain programs made up behind the pain points of your potential owner operator. So increasing brand awareness. It's all about increasing brand awareness. So I started to build that Facebook business page. I started to post in Facebook trucking groups. And then the things that I was posting in the trucking groups were services that I was offering that the rest of the market wasn't offering. And now when owner operators seen my posts, it grabbed their interest, because those are the same things that they were thinking about, that they needed someone to help them with in their business, but nobody was saying it but me, right? So that's going to funnel people back over to my Facebook business page where people start reaching out to me, getting in contact with me. So I went from not having any drivers that first month to switching up my marketing and sales the second month and basically causing drivers to reach out to me. And this is how I went to $20,000 during that second month, because I had so many drivers reaching out to me. It was able to take me up to $20,000. And then from there, I started to run ads on Facebook. I started to run ads to lookalike audiences. So from all the traffic coming to my Facebook page, Facebook is able to run ads to people who have similar characteristics to the people who's already following my Facebook page. So then I made videos and posts and ran those posts and put them in front of the faces of my lookalike audience. So now this was people who had similar characteristics of people who were already following that Facebook page, but who had never seen me before. So this is just a whole nother pool of clients. And that's what you want to do. You want to use social media. You want to make those outbound calls. So I started to make outbound calls again, but I started to speak from my UVP, right? So now even on my outbound calls, I was saying something different than what they hear from most freight dispatchers. So this attracted more drivers to my pipeline. And then from there, I started to collect email addresses and add them to my email list that speak about my UVP from my brand messaging. So you want a holistic approach. The answer is not necessarily where do you find drivers, it's how do you attract drivers, right? That first month I went out to the truck stop a couple times with no results. That second month I went back to the truck stop, but I had that UVP. On my flyers, I had my unique value proposition, something that made my business unique. So this drew in the interest of the owner operator. So you want a holistic approach. You want to market everywhere you can think of: social media, truck stops, outbound calls, email marketing, but it's about the unique value proposition and the brand messaging. From there, I signed up my first driver, during that first month. And since I had my UVP and my brand messaging, and I was getting that out to so many people, that's why it was easy. That's why I hired my first driver, then my second and third driver. I think the third company that signed up with me, they actually had 3 trucks. So they put 1 truck on with me at first, and then within that next week, they put 2 other trucks on with me. And then I helped scale their business, and they end up buying like 3 more trucks within the next month. So this is how like trucks started to come out of nowhere. And I just had trucks on top of trucks. And then from there, I had a problem because I had too many trucks for me to dispatch alone just by myself. And that's when I was able to hire dispatchers to work for me. So when I train my students, I train you to give you a problem. And that problem is too many drivers than you can handle by yourself, because you actually want to have that problem if you want to hire dispatchers to work for you, because the solution is hiring dispatchers. So I know in business, you have to give yourself certain problems to get to certain solutions. If you want passive income in your freight dispatching business, you need to give yourself the problem of having too many drivers coming into your pipeline than you can handle by yourself. And then that's going to push you or force you to have the solution of hiring dispatchers, and that's going to get you to passive income. So I know everything to do, because business is just a mental science. So I can use my own experience and proven methods and everything I learned since then to give to you as a student of mine, and you can just implement that same proven method, so you don't have to waste time on marketing. You don't have to waste time and energy. So you don't have to waste time and money on wasted marketing and sales. But if you guys have any questions over anything in my story, just make sure you comment down below. But one thing you have to do for sure, you have to build, or you have to create market demand. That's what you need to know when you come into this industry. Drivers aren't just going to reach out to you just because you're a freight dispatcher. That's what 97% of the market thinks. But if you want to be in with the 3% that's able to make $20,000 plus per month, you have to create your own market demand by having your own unique value proposition and great brand messaging. And then you use every possible channel to get that brand messaging out to your potential customer. Also, make sure you click the link below to join my 3-day Freight Dispatcher Challenge. Doing that 3-day Freight Dispatcher Challenge is where I teach you how to use AI to come up with your own unique value proposition and define the pain points of your potential customers who are truck drivers. But I thank you guys so much for watching this video. Comment any questions you have down below, and I'll catch you next time.